So to reintroduce myself, because basically what I have to do, I am Danny C, the host of podcast is Talk is Deep, and thank you for tuning in, whether you are a returning listener or you are a new listener. Um, right off the bat, I want to address the hiatus, which there's several reasons why I haven't recorded and put out a new episode in several months. I know I started out kind of strong, putting out an episode maybe every other week, and I think I also addressed in the promo to this episode that there's a lot of things I've been trying to do and figure out, and I kind of said screw it, and I just need to put stuff out there and like do episodes because I'm not in my 10,000 hours yet. I've only had what 6 episodes of content, which is maybe like 50 hours of that, right? I would say a lot just been going on too. I think so. The last time I recorded was in June. Sorry, I should restate that. The last time I put out an episode was in June. The last time I recorded, though, was probably last month. So it's not that I have not been recording episodes either. I just am such a perfectionist that I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. Like I have I had an idea playing on my head, and then when I actually did the episodes and re-listened to them, I was like, this doesn't sound like what I'm trying to convey. I want the conversations to be real, candid, and I think I was trying to be such a perfectionist that I structured it too much and not even, I want to say scripted, but in a sense it was kind of scripted that I had something to read off of. I mean, even now I do, but it's more just bullet points to tell me where I'm at and where I'm going. And so that's one of the issues. I think real quick, let me address because that's going to bother me. Uh, if you're watching, you can see that I clearly have an upgrade in studio. That's another reason why, which I'm going to say that a lot. I'm going to list a lot of reasons as to why I had the hiatus. So again, if you're watching, you can clearly tell I have an upgraded studio. That's because I got a house. With that, I was able to turn one of the rooms into a studio/office. And so basically one half is the office and the other half is the studio. So I have acoustic paneling, I have decor, which includes lighting. Shout out to Homer for giving me feedback to put up lighting, and I hope it's impressing you, Homer. I bought a plant, which you can't see, and I have some books. And what else? Oh yeah, I have photography lights, and then you can't see them as well either, but acoustic foam paneling on the sides of the walls. And I just went blank for a second. And then I never think I mentioned it, but I did get an upgrade in equipment, so I have very professional mics, and I hope that my voice sounds more crisp because Lord knows I need the help to make my voice sound better than it sounds because I'm one of those people that don't like the sound of their own voice. When they hear it back to them, when I'm talking, I don't mind it, but when I hear it back, I'm just like, shut up. Like, what are you doing? Because the main thing, though, I would say is because I got a house, it entails a lot of work to do. With the new year, especially, there was a bunch of things I was trying to scramble to figure out. It's been about 6 months now that I'm in this house, and there's things I had to get situated to and prioritize prior to getting back into this. But now I'm back. Hopefully, we're back. So to go back to direction of where I'm trying to go with this is that most podcasts have like a niche, right? And I don't know if I have yet to really delve into it. I know I explained in my very first episode what I was trying to do, and I explained like what, who, what, when, why, and I think I like over explained it. I wanted to simplify it into kind of a perfect little statements. Just basically, I want to have real deep conversations like this movie Daddy-O. If you haven't seen it, it is with Dakota Johnson and Sean Penn or Sean Bean. Forget, but Sean. He's God, he's won Oscars, but I forget his last name. His first name is definitely Sean. And if you've seen that movie, you'll get the sense of what I'm trying to do. And on top of that, I just have a hyper fixation on analyzing things, diving real deep into what is the lesson from this thing. And it's something I attribute to my father, who one of his greatest lessons he gave me in life was that there's something you can learn from anything or anybody. And you should always try to seek that lesson out because it can only benefit you to do so. Yeah. So in preparing to return, I've also been to, what's the word I'm trying to look for? I don't know the word. See, like this is where my Spanish brain, sometimes it's just simple to say it in Spanish. It's like conseguir, obtain, yeah, there you go. Obtain more knowledge on things, which is what that's one of the goals I have for this year. One of my New Year's resolutions was to read more books. I know last year I read six, and I'm shooting for 12 this year, so one per month. And so far, I've gotten that done. I've read Modern Love, which is just a compilation of essays that the New York Times put together and created a book out of, which is also the TV show. Sorry, got off track, but good books. I'd highly recommend about that book. More to the point, though, I've also been dealing with some personal stuff, and maybe I'll explore that in later episodes. Definitely probably the next episode. But with that, I think I took January as not like a whole mental month thing to do, but kind of like working on myself to figure out what I've been dealing with. I don't know about y'all, but like the seasonal depression got me real bad, starting from like November all the way to January, which maybe attributes to the cold, but who knows. And I did this thing that I got off this journal and this book I'm reading too. It's called You Only Die Once by Jody Wellman, I believe. And also the journal is just a journal, kind of like a shadow work. Anyone knows what that is. Essentially just a self-evaluation of yourself, kind of very Buddhist in its teachings and ways to work on yourself. And so real quick, just to explain like what I did, there was a section of the journal which tells you how to like evaluate yourself. And so there was mindfulness, spirituality, sexual expression, fun, autonomy, confidence, finances, goals, business/career, productivity, community, family, relationships, romantic relationships, home environment or just environment in general, your sleep, your energy, your diet, basically your exercise, physical activity you do. And I don't know if I said it again, spirituality, right? And so it kind of, with that, I used hand in hand with the other book, You Only Die Once, because it has also a section of the first chapter, which is just a bunch of questions trying to get a evaluation also of where you're at in your life. So with this combined with that book, I was able to figure out that I'm just doing okay, right? And that's not bad, like sometimes it's okay to not be okay, but I want to be doing better than just okay. I want to be thriving in a sense. And again, I think I'll explore it in another episode, but hopefully this year I start picking up momentum on that goal I have in mind for myself. But to continue on with the subject of this podcast, I think I'm going to start doing solo episodes. Clearly, that's what I'm doing right now. And with that in mind, it's going to be a little tricky to figure out what I want to say because when I do talk to myself, which I do often, sometimes I can just be silly and nonsensical and not really make sense of what I'm saying. Also, I do just speak in my own head, which I sound like Patrick Stewart, if you know who that is. And whenever I speak out loud to myself, sometimes I feel like I speak like Forrest Gump. And my friends will know because I do. I'll be like, Jenny. I don't say I attribute to it, but it is when I was a child, I had a very terrible speech impediment and I stutter. And I still technically do have both because living in your house by yourself as well as working remotely does not give you a lot of opportunities to have social interactions with other human beings. It's been tough doing that. And hopefully, this is another reason why I'm doing the podcast is to be able to learn how to speak in a more articulate manner and an elegance. And what else? And I'm just curious other things to do. So I think you'll see a lot of this whole episode me just kind of, if I'm not looking at the camera, it's kind of like me pondering off thinking, okay, what am I thinking about what to say? And I'm not trying to have too many pauses either. Again, it's a lot of things to undertake when you're doing a podcast, especially because I'm doing it by myself. Don't have a team at all. I have Charlie, the imaginary cameraman. Right, Charlie? Yeah. I would say that also took me like 2 hours just to set up everything because I was trying to nitpick everything, like the lighting, which right now it's purple. I was like, well, do I want it to be purple or do I want it to be matching what I'm wearing? Do I want it to not clash with the light setting I have with the photography lights? Do I need the overhead light on or not? And I don't need it because I think I look good. Good lighting just like this. And then to be safe, I'm also using precautions because I know one episode I recorded with a friend. I thought it went well, but then the audio wasn't as crisp as I wanted to be. And it's because I use like the backup audio because the primary audio, which is this mic, I press record on the sound card that I have, but I didn't have a memory card in it. So didn't save any of the audio. So it's little things like that that make doing this on my own very difficult. If you have your own podcast or if you listen to podcasts, be more appreciative of those people that put in all the work to have one because it's a lot of work to do. It is. So I guess this is basically, I already think I said it, but this is the revamp. And to quote something I found online, this is basically the objective with this podcast, and hopefully it continues to be this. I hate small talks. I want to talk about anything and everything elaborately. I want to talk about how we're all just made up of stardust. I want to talk about if you guys think that aliens exist or if they, if aliens exist and if they do exist, why are they obsessed with our buttholes? I want to talk about magic. I want to talk about faraway galaxies like Star Wars, technically Star Wars, but not really Star Wars. I want to talk about the unfathomable, the unbelievable, the crazy thing that is our existence. Where we're gonna go. There's still so much time left to have. Our fears, our worries, our dreams. I want to talk very deeply and almost comprehensively to a point where it's almost like I'm writing an essay for college about movies, books, TV shows, or just have people on who want to geek out over those things, Because I like people with depth because I speak with intention, emotion. I would like to call myself an intellect, but who knows? And that's the end of the quote. Hopefully, with all that, that gives you a general idea of what I'm actually trying to do. So I know previously, I think the problem that I was having was that I had people on and I was trying to get y'all to get to know them. And Unless they were famous, which, sorry, friends, you're not famous. I don't think listeners or watch or viewers will really care too much about what I did with my friend Marco when I was 5 years old. Maybe eventually, if this blows up, they'll be like, what did Danny do whenever he was 5 years old? And it's like I was running around in ditches. That's what I was doing. But I want to get, so yeah, whenever I have guests on, I want to just get straight to the point of what they're here for and what we want to talk about. By the way, I love you, Marco. That's not a criticism, not a negative criticism on any of my friends. I love y'all very much. I think people just want to hear the conversation rather than us explain what you're doing on here. So this is very much the foundation setting phase. It's an amateur podcast too, so it's not perfect in any sense of the word. There's going to be a lot of trial and errors still to come, even with everything that I've done to get to this point. Seeing there's me positive things like, where am I going to go next? But yeah, to get to this point, and hopefully more people tune in. People find me helpful. People find me interesting. People find the conversations we have interesting and wanting to maybe hear more of the topics and our thoughts on it, or especially my thoughts on it. Going back to solo episodes, to have solo episodes, I was thinking, what am I going to talk about by myself? Which is why I always wanted to have a co-host, but sadly, I don't know if I ever have one. It would be great if I could have one. I don't know if I necessarily need one. I think it would just benefit to have one, but don't know if I need one. I had an idea to just find a topic, which I think I had many topics I could talk about, or a subject that I can just go on and on and on and on for hours on end about. If you want to listen to me go on little rants or just kind of my hyper fixation on things, analysis of these things, then this is this podcast for you. So I think some of the few, like, to give y'all like future heads up on what I'm going to be doing, the series I'm going to start doing series / segments on a few things, kind of like mental health / mental illnesses, a purpose in like life, because there's so many different ideologies with that. You know, there's religion and there's philosophical thinking on that. Relationships, both friends, family, romantically. And then the creative side of us, which can be art, comedy, fashion. What else can I think of? Self-expression, yes, that's a good word. Self-expression. Definitely belief systems is a good one. Always have very intriguing conversations with my friends who like to talk about things in that nature. And then, of course, casual conversations about our love and admiration of movies and books and TVs that we enjoy, like the last season of Stranger Things, which if you're a true fan, you love this season. If you weren't a fan, you can still appreciate the fact that it had a happy end. Well, it had a beautiful ending. That's all we can really hope for, or at least I can hope for. So that about wraps up what I was going to do, which is also to the point to explain that these episodes are going to be really short by myself. They're not going to be as long as they are when I have someone on, because I know they can be roughly an hour to an hour and a half. Some of the episodes I recorded that I haven't shown, that I haven't put out there, so they tended to go more than an hour and a half. So that was another issue. Editing a 2-hour episode is difficult. And I don't want to bore y'all with the details again of how editing works, but it is, I'm telling you, it's an undertaking. And there you have it. That's the revamp. Thank you again for tuning in, staying on for this 20 minutes of your life. And hopefully this comes out soon, like I said, maybe tomorrow, maybe not. So I think the next episode is going to start a series, unless I can get it done in 30 to 45 minutes, which is, again, the time frame where I'm shooting for my solo episodes to be just 30 to 40 minutes. And if not, even shorter, because that would be ideal and much easier on me to edit, because this is not my day job, and I wish it was, but my day job requires me to work Monday through Friday, and I absolutely cannot work and then do more work. It's hard, even if I love this, because I do love doing this. And hopefully also, if you know that I also do comedy, I'm going to get back into that soon. So that about wraps it up. Please follow, subscribe to either my YouTube or Spotify. Still working on that Apple podcast, how to get that linked up, and hopefully I figure that out sooner rather than later. This has been Talk is Deep. I've been your host, Danny C. Thank y'all again for tuning in, and good night, good morning, wherever you're at.